Hey, what's up, everybody? Just a little quick update here on Monero. So, just keep an eye on this little guy here, because it could literally be breaking out very quickly. So, what we don't really know is this going to be 3 down, 3 up, and then maybe 5 down, and then a continuation, an A, B, C, right? A flat. This is what we call a flat. Or is this not a B wave? And this is a 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, which means that's the hornet's nest. That is a nest of 1 2s, and it's deadly if it's correct. We'll see how it we'll see, right? And what's really interesting about this is that when you look at Monero, you can actually say that potentially this is not 5 waves. Dun dun dun. But rather a 1 2 1 2 1 2. So 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then we have another 1 and then a 3-way pullback 2. So, I mean, is this entire thing a nest of 1 2s? I don't know, but it sure could be. It sure could be. You could also count it as 5 waves, right? You could say that this is 1 2. You could say that's 3 4 and 5, like kind of like a diag, right? And then a 3-way pullback, and then another 5 waves. I don't know. I just don't really like it. Or you could say, for example, 1 2, all of that's 3 4, and that's 5, and this is 3 down A, and this is a B wave right here. And then this will be a C wave, and it could be a running flatter or something, and then continue. Right? But if it's not, if it's a 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, then holy bleeping bleeping bleep. This is going to be insanity. So, you guys know I've been talking about Monero since down here. And, you know, it's now up here, and everybody's screaming bear market. And, Bitcoin could be going into a bear market, extremely possible, right? We know that, I just heard a report, the deep state, they're dumping their ETFs, the central bank, right? They're trying to, this is a financial war, between the patriots of this country, not just the citizens of the world, but everybody, everybody, against the tyranny of the power of the central bank and how it's designed to suck the wealth out of people through inflation, through boom and bust cycles. And it's a travesty. And I believe, I feel really strongly that Trump is trying to fix that and expose that. But we have to allow the process to unfold. And speaking of that, what is the most important thing? Right? It's fixing the money. That's how you fix the central bank, right? You have to take control back over the money and the gold, right? And apply that to a blockchain. So if you take back the money, or just look at DeFi, right? Decentralized finance. It needs to be a we the people system, not a central banking fiat scam, right? So I think that's where crypto exposes it, right? Because it's a reflection. If you're seeing crypto go completely crazy, right? What is it against? What is it against, guys? It's against right up here, the dollar. So it makes the dollar look bad. It makes the dollar look very bad. So what does the central bank do? What do? They can manipulate the market by what? By buying ETFs. Like I've said, I was one of the few people that were talking about the ETFs in terms of how they can be used as weapons, And it's not necessarily a good thing. I did say, however, it was a good thing because it gets more exposure out there, but it's also a bad thing because they could use it against, right? Because an ETF is not really Bitcoin. It's a weapon they can use as leverage to distort the price. So what are they doing? Are they dumping the price hardcore? Yeah, but if you look at Bitcoin Cash, it's not really affected too much. If you look at the broader altcoin market, they've already gotten beat the hell. So there's really not too much further down to go. I think, not financial advice, I could be wrong. But I'm just looking at Monero thinking, hey, what's going on here? So this is a classical rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We went sideways, and now we have a possible nest of 1-2s. This is possibly the most bullish chart in crypto right now. It's possibly. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because this thing looks like a loaded gun that's wanting to explode. So here's the thing. If we get a flat, that will probably be the best thing Monero can do. Because if it exerts its energy now versus having an ABC a flat and then exerting later, you will get a bigger reaction because you had a bigger correction. You had more time to stabilize. And even if we do go into a Bitcoin bear market and Monero has to as well, well, look at all the support you have. You have a monster base down here. And you can say, yeah, well, that's way the hell down at 188 and we're sitting at 415. That's a hell of a drop. And I say, hell yeah, that's true. That is a hell of a drop. But in the bigger picture, right, in the bigger scheme of things, it's if that happened and then we got that, it wouldn't bother me. I would actually be adding all up in there. So, I'm just looking at this, and now if you look closer, it's exactly the same type of thing. It looks like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? So that's just the way Monero likes to move, apparently. And I wonder if it's what I'm saying is I wonder if it's gearing up for something massive. So would I rather be holding Bitcoin? While Bitcoin took a major beating compared to some of these altcoins, so potentially a bigger bounce for Bitcoin, right? Remember Bitcoin dominance. We think possibly we could get a three-way move up, right? We had an impulse down, and we have a three-way move up. So, or if that happens, then we would get that, right? We would get a big move down, which is a good thing. So, but when I look at something like XRP, I'm starting to get a little bit more excited. Just a little bit. Like I said, I don't really like this kind of. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence on if that's bottlenecking and we're gonna get a bigger drop. I mean, it's possible, but the reason I don't like it too much, is because I really love the 4-day chart, and this 4-day candle, as you probably know, right? As this 4-day candle is a little bit exciting because of the pullback. Because look at this. We came down, we tested it, and it got bought right back up, and now we have a green 4-day candle. So we still have basically 4 days, right? So we have a lot of life left. It's probably best if we don't exert it, but rather just kind of maybe, just get up a little bit. That way you have 1, 2, and then another candle, and then you develop that base. That's, because you want to get away from the scene of the crime, right? When you have a big move down and a quick reaction up, you want to get away from the scene of the crime. So let's look, if we look closer, right? This is this is pretty good. but we didn't really get away from the scene of the crime. So I bet we're going to probably stall out in here a little bit, and we're going to see how do we react. Do we react in 3 waves, or do we get 3 down and this is some kind of a flat and you get like a 3-way move like this? That's also possible. So we're going to have to see. Trump had a cabinet meeting, and I'm wondering if that had something to do with it today, because there's a lot of things said in that cabinet meeting. If you want to listen to the whole thing, obviously YouTube would be the way to do it. It's, I think it was like 2 hours long or something like that. But anyways, some very positive things, right? I wish I didn't get to listen to it all, but I really wanted at the end for the reporters to ask about, crypto, because crypto's been beaten up for the last year. And, somebody asked Trump, hey, yo, what are you doing about it, right? Because he's the one that wants, bragging about the markets and all these things. And it's true. You want to point to the greatness, right? But nobody's really pointing at crypto. And because Bitcoin's gotten beaten up because of the ETFs, right? There's a lot of dumping going on. So it could be a coordinated move, but to me, it's purely technical, right? You could get into all the conspiracies. That means nothing to me. It's mainly what's going on with the technicals. And it's fun to speculate on what could be, but it's just speculation. So, but it's really interesting. So yeah, I go back to Monero again, and they're both looking pretty interesting. So let's see if we can see anything a little bit closer here. And I'm just looking at this recent move, right? Just the way it moves up, it's just 1-2ing. Like even in here, look at these 1-2s, right? A big 1 and a 2, or all of that is a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, right? So very interesting. And now you have this like potential flat right there. Look at that. Look at this. This is very interesting. You got an impulse, right? Well, first of all, you got this impulse, you got this massive 3-way pullback. You got another massive impulse, another 3-way pullback. And meanwhile, Bitcoin is supposedly in some bear market. And this has been going on basically, look how long this has been going on. Right? So, it's interesting. And we have this another 3-way pullback, but then look, this could be part of a bigger flat. So 3 down, right? Maybe 3 up, and then, or no. Okay, I see it now. 3 up, and then 3 down. So it would be a flat, a running flat, and it's finished potentially, right? It's finished, and now we have an engulfing candle, and we're ready to rock. We're ready to rock and roll. I mean, tomorrow's Wednesday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays are usually the most volatile days of the week. So let's see how it plays out. But if we don't get anything, I'm not calling for anything, right? Because timing is always very challenging. But I'm just looking at, month after month here. I seen a good bottom, right? And I'm just tracking all of these waves, and it's just been bullish. So either that is some kind of a B wave that I don't understand, and now we're going ABC, or this is like also an inverse head and shoulders right here. That actually, I'll just draw right here. There we go. So we have a shoulder, we have a head, and this is probably could potentially be developing the right shoulder, in which case we would get a big breakout, right? And let's see what would the measured move be of that breakout? I'm not going to use the wicks. I'm just going to say right about there, just getting a ballpark estimation right there. That's about, 580, 590, 570, between, call it 580. Actually, you know what? I didn't have that. Let me see. Where does this go back to? Yeah, if you look all the way left, right? I mean, we're right there. I mean, look at this. This was the all-time high. This was the retrace. We poked above it. And look at this. We're right there again. So this is very interesting, is it not? And meanwhile, Bitcoin's in a bear market, right? So explain it. That's because, it's not confirmed yet. We're not confirmed yet. Even if we were, this would be the time that we would see altcoins popping off that are in position. Keyword, in position. Like Theta is not in position. I'm sorry. It's almost there. It's almost there, but it's not quite there like Monero. Monero's like there, right? XRP is a little bit closer, or a little bit further away from Monero, but closer than Theta. So let's see what happens, especially when we get a Bitcoin retracement, right? If we look at Bitcoin, it's looking interesting. I mean, we're getting some green down here on the 8-day chart, and if we get some kind of a retracement, this could be the environment needed for what? An alt season, like who? Contenders like like Monero, Bitcoin Cash potentially, right? I mean, it looks very good, and XRP, and even look at Theta too. When Theta gets its retracement, it actually could blow XRP out of the water because it could be a 10x move. Because Theta has a lot of ground to it. It made a deep crater. So that means it has further to go up, which means that's more percentages, which means that's more money, which is better, right? So, but we're not ready yet. We're not quite there yet. But some of, like Bitcoin, looks interesting. So again, I'm looking at it potentially as a running flat, and then we go hit the high, and it could be 3 drives to the high, or it's going to be some kind of a flag and then a continuation down, or it's just going to be a classic retrace like this and then a continuation down, which I would prefer. I would prefer the high here, because that would give us more altitude, so that when we do drop, we can get a retrace in here, and it could alleviate some of the corrections we would get in such an event where Monero or XRP decided to break their all-time highs in a Bitcoin retracement, just like it did before, right? XRP, during this move right here, see this little tiny move right here, this little tiny move right there? That's when XRP exploded in its retrace. And then if you go back further, you see the crash, you see the retrace, you see this retrace right here. That's when XRP exploded, in the retrace. So if we are in a bear market, then even bear markets, you get retraces, right? You get a retrace. So, or you could get some kind of a flag right like that, right? But to me, let's see if it's a flat. I want to see a flat, and I want to see a retrace. So, like XRP looks good. Looks nice and stabilized. It's stabilizing on the 8-day chart. Just looking at different time frames, just, I mean, just look at this. I bet the sequential's kind of hot. Yeah, look at that. We had a 9. And look at it actually called the exact top, if it is a top. but it's been a local top so far. It's been a local top for 8, 16, 24, 32 days. 32 days. So we got to break these red dots. And yeah, I just don't know if it's a little bit extended. That's the whole thing. I don't really know if it's too extended. It might need, like, I really would like if it maybe hit the high here and then we had a proper ABC that could last a while, unfortunately. And then we get one more bounce and this becomes a cup and handle. Ooh, yes. That would be sick. It would take a long time, but it's an investment. You have to invest the time, right? You have to invest the time as well. Not just people say, oh, you invest in the market, money, money, money. No, you would also invest time. But guess what? The time is going to be spent no matter what. Your life is going to go on no matter what. So you might as well go on with your life in crypto, especially knowing the dollars and fiat currencies are self-destructing as they are designed to do at the end of the fiat cycles. And this is why crypto, in my opinion, was invented. You know, there were some definite white hats involved, patriots. And so Monero is a privacy coin, right? It's a privacy coin. So what's going on? Maybe the deep state's like, you know what? I don't want Trump coming after my money. I'm going to hide it. But how do I hide it? I don't know. I'm looking up stuff. Privacy, money. Oh, what's this? Zcash. Oh, that's why Zcash exploded. Oh, what's this other one? Oh, Monero. Monero hasn't exploded yet. Maybe I'll buy Monero. Oh, look at the cup and handle. Looks good. Yeah, hon, I'll buy it. Boom. Buy. Stock. Added. Portfolio. And what are we looking at? Everybody commenting, oh, not on my channel. I'm just saying, like, you guys are great, but I'm just talking about, like, just in general on Twitter, X, whatever. You see bear market, this bear market, and that's rightfully so, right? Because we've had a pretty big dump, but it's not completely confirmed yet, and we don't see that in every coin. And Monero is a prime example. Monero is, in my opinion, on its way to being in a bull run, right? And if it does confirm the bull run, then we can equate that to the whole thing being a bull run. Is it possible that we get like a cup and then we get like a smaller cup and then potentially even a smaller cup and then break out later on? That's what I would think if Bitcoin is really truly in a bear market and it's weighing everything down and it's just a disaster. Then I could see an ascending triangle right here. A beautiful ascending triangle, a massive ascending triangle. And if we want to know how massive, let's measure it. We can just say that right there. If I can, boom. And then what we're going to do, if I can do it, is go from there to there, approximately. And then we're going to take that, put it right about there, approximately. It doesn't have to be right on the dot, but it's, it could change. So let's go there. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's not happening. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's possible. I mean, $7,000? That's insane. Well, it doesn't matter if that's insane. You know why? Because it means nothing. You know why? Because what matters? Percentages. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters is percentages for investing in crypto, whatnot. And that's a decent move. That's a 16x. That's a 16.4x. Basically. So, I mean, better than a bear market, right? Yeah. But we don't know yet. We don't know if this is going to be a flat. Again, if it is, then we have a chance at retesting this trend line that I've poorly drawn. That, let me see if I can make it a little bit better. I could put it like this, like on the bodies of it. And it's going through the candles. That's fine. And I got a lot of touches. Look at all those touches there. So it's good. So, but what I'm saying, and look at that, we're on a 6-week 9 sell. But I wouldn't pay too much attention to that because it's not like this 9 sell because it was going parabolic. This is not going parabolic. This is just like we're building a massive base, building a base, building a base. 1 2. That's what a 1 2 1 2 was designed to do. Think about think about the physics behind a 1 2 1 2, right? It's like it's revving up, it's revving up, it's revving up, it's exploding, right? That's what a 1 2. That's a nest. This is bottlenecking too, right? And usually that's a wave 3. So if we do get a pullback, if we do get a big pullback in here, then we would retest the trend line, which is probably the best thing, right? Everybody would be screaming bear market, but we've been in a bear market since 2018. Monero has been in a bear market since 2018. It's so Bitcoin. Everyone associates crypto market with Bitcoin, and since Bitcoin's been in a bull market, therefore the whole market's been in a bull market, and it's simply not true. It's a con job. It's a scam. It's deception. It's designed to obviously make you lose and make them win, which is not going to happen because that's why we have YouTube. That's why we have people's opinions, and don't just listen to one opinion, right? There's many out there, and you just got to, figure it out. But to me, I see it in two ways. Either we're breaking out or we're going into a flat and then breaking out. And there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Like that's exactly what it looks like it's happening here. Now, if this just collapsed on itself, then this would be a torturous fail, right? It would probably not survive. I mean, it maybe will, right? Because you have this massive range down here, and if, for example, you hit the top, you hit the bottom, you hit the top, you hit the middle, you go back and hit the top, then you come back down, hit the bottom, then go back up. Dude, that would really be a disaster because it's just so massive. And I just don't really see that unless something massive happened. Like, look at this. This was C19. Look how tiny that is. Remember C19? Some of you, a lot of you probably, maybe you don't, but everybody was freaking out under that crash. But look how tiny that crash is compared to if this was really going to have to come back down there. This would be basically death to Monero. So I think we're breaking out. If we don't break out and we do fail and we do come back down, I would look for a back test. But the problem is we've already back tested it, which would you call a retest, right? You would come down 3, maybe 3 back up, maybe 3 back down, play around a little bit, and then continue. And that's that other thing. You got a cup, you got a smaller cup, and then a breakout. So worst case scenario, right? So anyways, I think that's it. CRV, you got a little 3-way pullback here. H bar, I mean, look at H bar, you got that 3-way pullback, but I don't know if it's quite there yet on that time frame. CRV, ICP. ICP is just, dying for some love. I think it's ready because look at this. We took the low, and it's bullish when you do that. When you come down and take the low and create divergence, and then you spike up and then you kind of level off, it's still gonna potentially level off and continue up. Because look at ICP. It's been in a bear market its entire life on Coinbase, right? So, and we're on an 8. We're about to get a 9 on the 6-week chart in 4 days. Well, really 5 days. XDC, remember my fractal. which was this one right here, right? Looking at silver. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just look at that. So, oh, I got this 360 camera. This is kind of cool, man. Check out this jump. What? Boom. Pretty big. Kind of small on the camera, but when you're actually there, it's pretty cool. If you're interested in that stuff, like kind of like casual riding, free riding, I'm considering starting another channel and just kind of vlogging dirt bikes, things like that. If you're interested in that type of stuff, but yeah, total 3 minus USD minus USDT and basically the stable coins. Look at this. This looks insanely bullish to me, and I've never really looked at it on the 6-week chart. Look at this. You got a cup, or you got a shoulder, you got a head, and you got a shoulder, and you're right on the neckline. You're cupping into the resistance. You're cupping into the resistance. You have a 1 2 1 2. Oh well, 1 2 3 4 5. This could be an A B C. So you have 1 2 3 4 5 A B C, and you have an inverse head and shoulders. This could potentially break out, but that doesn't mean it's going to break out now. It's when this A B C is finished. We got to wait for it to finish, and then we can get our shot at breaking out. If we don't break out, then we need to retrace, and then we need to prove that it gets rejected, and then we continue down. Right? So let's go to the monthly. There we go. Monthly doesn't look as nice. Well, actually, I like the candle. Just started though, but I just don't know if it's complete yet. You know, let's see. I mean, you have 3 candles up here, and then you have a drop, and then you have like 4 candles. So you have three candles down, which is what we have now, which is good, and then it levels off. So actually, what you could do is just take a little bars pattern right there to right there, and then put it right there. Boom. And then I would take this bars pattern and just go like that. That's good. An impulse, right? Some kind of an impulse here. Whoa. There we go. Now we're cooking. Look at that. Perfect. 1 2 3 4 5. A, B, C. Right? 1 2 3 4 5. Bear market. Right now we're still in a bear market. This is all bear market. When we break out, you get a little tiny bit of a bull market, which you could also equate into a cycle, right? This whole thing would be the cycle. If the cycle is over, that means the cycle was over back in 2021. Okay? So, because if it's really bad, then this is boom, boom, and then we're going to get some kind of a move down, a running flat, and then continue. Right? So we have an A, B, C. But I don't really like it at all because you have 5 waves. It doesn't look like a retrace to me. It looks like a continuation. It looks bullish. And this looks bullish too because it looks corrective. And Bitcoin's been getting hammered. Bitcoin's the most oversold it's ever been since how long ago? Again, what was it? I mean, there's a lot of bullish stuff, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I gotta go. Anyways, appreciate it. Not financial advice. Cheers.